come here. I've got something to show you. Come on, let's see. Batteries, tools, drivers. What do I got? I wrote. Oh, I should have been late. Oh, here we go. I'll start off here. RX8. This is my Tekin drawer where I keep most of my gear. I'm going to need a 412 today. Check this out. This is the new crawler motor from Tekin. This is, just like I said, a crawler motor, a trail motor, brushless. No, you don't get to see it right now. You don't get to see it right now. I need this on my workbench, and I'll show you why you don't get to see this right now. I'll just take 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have to fill that back up. Do I have a 1700? No, that's a 2250. There's a 1700. Check this out. Well, look at this big pop can. Kablamo. Tekin. Let's, I'm actually just going to put this, I need some ESCs. And I'm running low on these, but I will take an RX8, a Pro, and a Pro. Let's take these, put them up on the bench. Ooh! Come with me. Are you excited? This is exciting. I have lots of fun things to show you. Kind of a dry video, but new product, and it's fun. Everything is Tekin today because I've been using Tekin products a very, very long time. Here a Tekin, there a Tekin, everywhere a Tekin. Okay, so there's a reason why I'm doing this. Now, it's not to show off Tekin products. There's plenty of manufacturers. There's Castle. They do a whole line of products, but the ones I use in the studio are Tekin. And it's all about this product today. The ROC 412 Trail Crawler Motor. I went on, just so you guys could see it exists, this is on Team Tekin's website, where they talk about the Redline ROC 412. Let me read this a little bit for you. The long-anticipated ROC 412 brushless crawler motors from Tekin are now available, designed specifically for rock crawlers and scale trail rigs. Awesome. Brushless. This is boasts a proven 4-pole, 12-slot censored. Well, you guys can read all about this. I'm not going to stand here and read to you. Basically, brushless power, brushed torque. Even on the back of the boxes, here, let me see. This says the ROC 412s gives you 3S and 35 turn power with the torque and brushless efficiency of a 2-cell 55 turn crawling precision motor. Okay, good. We all got that. Moving on. Well, I'll just put this pile to the side because there is a reason why I have all of these motors out. Now, here, you get to see it out of the box. This is the RS Pro. This is the capacitor that comes with it. Here is this new brushless motor. Okay, now I don't work for the company. I'm not representing the company. I'm just kind of using these motors in a project that I have coming up. Look at this, 2300 kV. I like the look of this, okay? I am actually going to show you how to set up the censored wire to the RS Pro, and we're going to do a quick soldering session here. Even though I've done a few of these now, it's about darn time we did it again because the new year's coming and lots of folks out there are starting to solder their stuff and they've got presents under the tree. Check out the date of the video. That's because we're going into holiday time. So, look at this. Look at the shaft on this. Nice and skinny. Do you like a skinny shaft? Look at that. It's nice and strong. When I actually turn it, I'm getting the sound. I'm getting sound. There's sound. Wow, that motor in there, the magnets are fantastic. I'm going to go ahead. Let's line up the wires. Comes with the wires. I already have my soldering station hot. You get a shot of this. This is the track power. Okay. They used to have a different name for this. I can't remember. This is the TK950. Gives me the ability to change the thermal or the heat of this, so I have instant heat on the end of my gun. This is what they call a soldering gun, for those that don't know. Lots of us out there already know this. This I find a lot better than using like a $15, $20, we get it at the local hardware store soldering iron, because this maintains a constant temperature. With a constant temperature, when you're using solder, different types of solder, this actually, when it conducts the heat away from the gun into the solder and onto the posts, maintains the heat at the end. The less expensive ones, the ones that don't have a control on it, it's a little bit tougher to keep the heat a constant, right? So you get kind of blobbed up solder. It's really tough to use. This is something I highly suggest when you're working with a lot of electronics. Now, On the end, I've already pre-stripped these wires. I'm going to do a very, very, Cole's Notes version of this. I'm going to whip through it so you guys get a general idea. And I am going to use flux. Everybody out there, there's half the people out there that say, oh, you're not soldering right if you use flux. And then there's people that just swear by the stuff. I do. This is basically... Long story short, there's lots of people, lots of definitions on what flux is. We can all look it up on Google if we want. Basically, used with all lead-free solders, plus other common soft solders. Do not use on stainless steel, aluminum, or for other silver soldering. Basically, this is an acid, right? It helps wick the solder or helps soak the solder through the wires into the actual underneath the casing. Makes everything nice and tough, ready to solder. Enough chit chat, let's actually do some. So Tekin stickers out of the way, we'll get to those later on. Solder for me was always a challenge in the beginning. Soldering, I guess. Until I learned how to use flux and a good heat iron. So I'm just putting a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of flux on the end. Just going to melt it a little bit with the heat gun. I know, everybody's got their own different ways, but I'll tell you, just for something quick and easy, this is the way to do it. People haven't seen me do this before, and they haven't done it at home, but I have done this on camera. Check this out. Solder will stand nice and erect. Lots of jokes there, I already know. If you actually take your solder and stand it up, put it on a bend like that, now you have a controllable surface. Some people, follow me, some people, you can see I got a Canadian $5 bill and my sunglasses here. These are my jerk sunglasses. I love these glasses. See, I change instantly. This is me high rolling with my $5. People use these kind of things. There's usually a magnifying glass here, but these little alligator clamps will actually hold wires. People use this for fly fishing and all that other stuff to make hooks. This actually doesn't have to be used when we use the bent soldering method. Let's go back over here. Okay, so it's still here, still standing at attention. I don't have any flux on the end of my heat gun. Just gonna touch it to the end. Nice hot temperature. Here we go, let's listen to this. Okay, now it's actually transferred. That flux has helped transfer the solder from my gun into the wire. Now, yes, you can buy solder with flux already built into it, different percentages of flux and whatnot. Just helping tin this, okay? You can see, have a look there. I don't know if you can focus camera, but you can basically see it. Don't worry about it. I'm good to go. On to the next one. We all know what solder on a wire looks like, generally speaking. You can see I just keep adding solder until it's nice and silver. Now, stay with this. Just getting myself a paper towel. I'm going to wipe the excess flux off the end of the wire. Give it a little so you can see that everything is connected. It's no longer separate wires in here. Instead, it's just a nice blob of solder. So that's ready to go and to be attached. Everything is done. Just for giggles, because I know I can do it quite quickly. I won't talk my way through it. I'll just do it instead. Here we go. People always say to me, how long does it take you to do a project? I always say, it depends. Am I on camera or not? So in the instructions for the Tekin RS Pro and the RS and all of the ESCs, we have brushed and brushless setups because you need to be thinking about where your battery is, where the posts are, and of course we're doing a brushless setup. So brushless motors, you'll see on the back here, have A, B, and C for posts, okay? This will also line up with your ESC, or electronic speed control. A is on the inside, so we're going to have a little bit of crossover here. A, B, C. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So we'll toss this off to the side because I know how to use these, or so I think. We'll do a quick little flux on the end of these posts. Okay, there we go. Now, one thing that folks kind of forget when they're doing a soldering job on an ESC is the capacitor. Now, for this particular model and all of the models of Tekin that I use the capacitor. People wonder what the capacitor is for and how to attach it. Long story short, this prevents power spikes, or it helps. If you have a short, anything like that, this will actually blow its cap. Now, you'll see here that we have a blue and a silver side. The inside blue, that's the negative. So you want to make sure that's on the negative post. The post being on the ESC, the battery posts, right? So if the power was going to be shorting out from the battery, it would be going through the cap on the ESC here. I normally put them in like so, right? This is laid flat down. Lots of people can solder in different areas to accommodate the way they have set up their RC. I will put down mine flat. See these prongs? Dong, dong, dong. What I'll do with these is I'll actually mold them a little bit so it has a chance to be like a stair. The stair allows me to put it on the ESC a little bit more flat and push them down like so. Does that make sense? Did we get a good shot of that? Okay. This way it's going to be seated in the post. The actual posts, even though I filled it up with solder, have slots in them. This is so the solder and the wires can be seated properly. I normally do my capacitor first before I put the wires on, or you may not be able to do it later as easily. You'll see that my soldering iron is keeping a constant temperature, making my soldering quite easy. Look at this, it's almost like little chocolate chips of solder that I have on the end of these posts right here. And now this capacitor is attached. I can go ahead and clip off the excess wires just with a pair of scissors or a pair of side cutters. Watch your eyes. 1, 2, done. Now the capacitor is in there, negative side, the blue side on the negative post. Time to start attaching the wires. We're almost done the first one. This is a piece of cake. Make sure everything is lined up with the lettering on the back and with the color of the wires in the instructions. My friends, very important when you're doing this, follow the colors, right? Or else it won't run properly. You might get it run in reverse, for example. That's no fun, especially when you get everything mounted into the RC and you're like, ugh! There is ways around that though, just in case you do it. So let's go ahead and actually attach these wires. I'm just going to confirm that red is A. So we'll get in there, do a quick pre-job on the tabs on the brushless motor. Everyone loves a pre-job. Here we go, like so. Not too much. Actually, what I have on there is too much, which prompted me to say that. You want to make sure to keep all of these tabs separate. Don't let that solder run over onto other tabs or you'll be getting a short. Come on, solder. There we go. 1, 2, 3. There is almost enough. Nope, there was enough solder to do all 3 posts. Check, 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 check it out. You can see a soldering point on each. Now the wires, the ESC, and the brushless motor all have contact points of solder, all ready to be remelted together. Piece of cake. I'm going to go in behind so you can see this a little bit better. Now, there is heat shrink tubing. We will be using this tubing. There's different sizes in my kit. I just picked it up at a regular auto store. I'll be using that in a moment, not right away, but you want to make sure to use the heat shrink and slide it onto these wires before you attach both sides. So here we go, a little bit more solder. And we'll make sure you can see it easily here. Just heating up both the wire and the post. There we go, piece of cake. And I kind of just bring it back and forth, let it cool off. A quick blow. Everyone needs a quick blow to cool off. There we go. Nice and solid. So now we have the first. We're going to go on to do the third, or the second and the third wire, and I'll start to do the ones on the ESC. We'll come back after that. Piece of cake. All right, so I put the sensor wire and I attached it to the back of the ROC 412. The sensor, here, anybody who doesn't know, that's new to the show or just has questions, I'll try to sum it up here for you. This is the brain of the RC. Apart from the radio, right here is where all the battery power comes in and it gets routed out to the actual motor, the electronic speed control. Got it? Good, go. Here we go. So I already attached these 2 wires to the ESC, making sure that my letters are lining up like I mentioned earlier. I only have 1 more wire to go. But I want to make sure to mention this little tube thing here. Look at that little thingy. This is heat shrink tubing. It actually is a wire protector. You can see there's a few on here. Check this out. This is a piece of tubing. My normal lighter. I know, pink. Here we go. A little bit of heat. This tube actually shrinks. Look at that. So this will actually get soft for a second and then stiffen right up. Right around the shaft of the wire right there. So it's a nice bit of protection. You always want to make sure to have your wire protected. So, hot 700 degree iron, a little bit of solder on the end. I want to make sure to put the tube on the wire prior to using solder. I guess I could have done that for you right here. Okay, goes right on the end. Make sure to keep it away from the end of the wire where you're actually doing the soldering, because you don't want this to shrink up on you too quickly. Hey, the pool's cold. We'll put this right here. Sorry, lots of hands, I know, especially on film. Heating up the post, heating up the wire, and a little bit of solder. Now I want to ensure that I've got a great solder point or a solder connection, because there's a lot of power flowing through here. We don't want the heat of the power to actually melt your soldering point. Now, that's on there. I could be better, actually. Let's do it a little bit better. Soften it up. Nice hot iron keeps everything moving. And perfect. I'd rather take a few extra seconds and do it right on camera than have to do it out in the field later on while we're filming. And just sliding that heat shrink quickly over the post. You'll see that I go halfway down the post, that brass post on the ESC. This is so it can still release some heat while it's in use. I'll take a lighter, carefully not to melt the ESC, but just to heat the heat shrink. Heat the heat shrink. There we go, all done. I didn't put on the power wires yet, because that's going to be done down the road when I install this. There are some neat things. This RS Pro and this 412 ROC motor from Tekin. You can see it's a 2300 kV brushless. This is going to get installed in something very cool. Not just this one. In fact, all of these ones. Aha! 1, 2, 3, 4. What could I use 4 brushless motors for? I know what I could use 4 brushless motors for. I think I'm going to take these 4 and send them down to my buddy Dave and Dave Jr. They can put these up in OVERKiLL. For those who haven't been seeing what my project OVERKiLL looks like, I know you're all anticipating, because we saw it doing some miraculous things last year. But I think we could use a little bit more power. I've got one more surprise before I sign off and get out of here for the day. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to step it up one more. Wait till you see this. Is that a huge motor, or are you just happy to see me? Both. I'm very happy to see this. 5. This almost dwarfs that one. Look at that big motor. This is a Tekin RX8. This is for an 8 scale. This is the ESC here. No fan on top, no power plugs yet, but a censored wire that goes all the way up to the brushless motor. This is a Tekin T8. 1700, 1750? Boom! This is a 1700 kV. Quite a bit of torque behind that. Can take up to a 6S. But wait a second. OVERKiLL only takes 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now it takes 4 35 turn brushed motors and 4 FXRs. The number 4 is just bugging me out. What are we going to use this one for? Guess you better click that subscribe button wherever they're putting it these days. You want to stay tuned, find out more about RC Adventures and where all of Team Tekin is going to be displayed in Project OVERKiLL? You're going to get to see it in the new year. I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching RC Adventures, guys. I'll see you in the next episode. want to see them? Don't be shy. Come on in. Come on in. Have you seen these before?
No, I haven't even seen them on the internet yet. Man, those are nice.
Brand new ROC 412s.
That's a sweet name.
I may be actually one of the first people to have these in Canada again. This is the first time, to get these here. These might be the first ones here.
Those are nice.
They're all done. You gonna go take them, put them in overkill?
Yep.
Don't tell anyone what this one's for.
Okay. We'll let them wonder.